One historic theme park, tropical indoor water park and home to some of the most incredible attractions in the world, it's easy to see why the Alton Towers Resort is the best theme park in the UK. As well as having 5 incredibly themed accommodations, with so much to do you may need a helping hand to ensure you have the best possible escape for the family. Hello and welcome to Coaster Gents, and in this video I'm going to be going through all the top tips and tricks to maximise your visit to the Alton Towers Resort. We will be going through some pre-arrival tips, travel to the resort and my best touring tips for every area and part of the resort. But before we get into it, make sure to subscribe and click that bell so you don't miss any UK theme park content. If it is your first time visiting the resort, we'll start with some pre-arrival tips to be considered in advance before you book. It goes without saying that the most important thing before booking your escape to Alton Towers is the time of year you'll want to avoid the crowds, as well as seeing any additional offerings for the parks and experience the many events. So to easily summarise how busy the parks will be is based on the events and peak seasons in the UK. These would include Easter, May, Summer, Scarefest and fireworks. I think it is worth mentioning that both the theme park and water park will be much quieter from a Monday to Wednesday, but I wouldn't worry if you're not able to visit Alton Towers midweek, because this video is mainly aimed towards the people who are planning on visiting during the busiest periods. Whilst it is an advantage to visit midweek, there are also some disadvantages such as 4 PM closes. However, I can't stress enough that on these days when the park is on a 4 PM close, the rides are very quiet and you have a much higher chance of riding every ride, as well as multiple re-rides. It's also worth mentioning that specific events will host more entertainment and offerings, and park hours are extended till later. The events that Alton Towers hosts are the Festival of Thrills, Mardi Gras, Oktoberfest, Scarefest, fireworks, Christmas, as well as multiple smaller events such as the Pirate Takeover in February and the Summer of Fun over the summer holidays. In terms of how many days to visit the Alton Towers Resort, it's worth bearing in mind that it's extremely unlikely you'll be able to experience all the resort's offering in one day. I would strongly recommend booking 2 to 3 days, as you'll want 2 days in the theme park and 1 day for the water park and golf. Make sure you book all your tickets in advance to save on money, with tickets ranging from £36 to £68 on the day. I would only recommend buying your tickets on the Alton Towers website directly for the cheapest cost and most secure booking. So if you have visited a theme park before, you will hopefully know that guests have the option to purchase FastPass, which reduces the wait times on certain rides and attractions. With FastPasses, the price doesn't increase based on peak days. However, I do feel it is more worth it on those busier days, but I warn you, they are known to sell out rather fast. Fastpasses are quite expensive, however if it is within your budget, it will definitely save you lots on time and give you more of a calm day to be able to take in all the resort has to offer. A huge part of your short stay at Alton Towers is choosing the right accommodation for you and your family. With 6 different types of accommodation, I'll briefly touch on them individually before going into a bit more depth later on in the video. Alton Towers has the Alton Towers Hotel, CBeebies Land Hotel, Splash Landings Hotel, the Stargazing Pods, the Enchanted Village Wooden Lodges and the Luxury Tree Houses. These are all different prices, with the Stargazing Pods being the cheapest and the Luxury Tree Houses being the most expensive. Be sure to check on the Alton Towers website, as prices do tend to change daily, and I would recommend only booking your Alton Towers stay through the Alton Towers website. Just some pre-arrival tips for the hotel is you will have to check in online beforehand and then collect your keys and informations at the kiosks in reception. There is also a monorail that takes you from the hotels straight to the front of the park, as well as a separate hotel entrance by Galactica exclusively for hotel guests. All the hotels also offer several restaurants, retail outlets and entertainment to satisfy your every need. When it's time to travel to the resort, there are a few things that you might want to sort out before your escape to Alton Towers. Firstly, and most importantly, is you should check the opening and closing times of the park and water park. These can be found on the Alton Towers website. However, something to be aware of is that the theme park always opens at 10 AM. However, that is actually just the rides, and the theme park can open from 9 AM or 9:30, which gives you a chance to head into the park and wait outside your favourite ride. The park is also known to extend park opening hours if the park is very busy, giving you a chance to experience more rides and attractions. On a peak day in the Alton Towers water park, you'll be given a time slot in which you can experience the water park. However, on off-peak days, you can book the first time slot and stay in as long as you like. If you haven't already, I would massively recommend downloading the Alton Towers app. This is really important in making sure your escape to Alton Towers is the best it can be. You can connect to the resort's free Wi-Fi, which will help you to see the current queue times, as well as using the Plan Your Day feature, using the online shop for fast passes, dungeons and more. A lot of people don't realise that you can use the app to add your barcode virtual park tickets, as well as any additional attractions and hotel bookings. The app also has an incredible new photo system, allowing you to add all your on-ride photos just by adding the code on the screen at the end of the ride. The app also comes with a virtual map of the resort and a Google Maps style feature, helping you to find any attractions you're looking for. When it comes to packing, I recommend packing lightly. An average sized bag will be fine, or a smaller sized bag, because of all the roller coasters at Alton Towers require you to leave any loose articles off the ride. Therefore, if you just have your phone with you, you will have to leave it in the baggage hold, as well as any other loose articles or valuables. Guests are allowed to bring their bags on all the dark rides and most of the flat rides within the park. I'd recommend bringing some comfy shoes, a poncho because we all know English weather, and a charger. However, there are many different portable charging stations around the park which I can personally recommend as they are very efficient and good value for money. I would also recommend buying a Coca-Cola Freestyle bottle while at the resort, and then you can carry it round in your bag. Parking at Alton Towers is £7 and there are many different car parks around the resort, so as soon as you park, make sure to take a picture of your location or put it in your notes exactly where you parked so that you don't get lost at the end of the day. So I'm going to take you through each area of the park as well as the water park and golf, and give you some touring tips for the main attractions, food and experiences which you can see which best suits you. So to begin the tour around Alton Towers theme park, I'll start on the entrance of the park called Tower Street. Tower Street is the main entrance to Alton Towers and is home to the monorail, which I mentioned previously, that takes guests from the hotels and car parks to the front entrance, as well as the Sky Ride, which is the cable car that takes you from Tower Street to Forbidden Valley and then to the Dark Forest. The other major ride on Tower Street is the Spinball Whizzer. This is a family spinning coaster, but if you're trying to maximise your time, I would recommend doing Spinball around lunchtime, as it is the first ride that guests see when entering the park, so it's usually the busiest in the morning and at the end of the day. Tower Street also has many dining and retail outlets such as Towers Trading, which is the major gift shop as you enter and exit the park. At the bottom of Tower Street you will find the front lawns, which is the hub to all the major events held at Alton Towers. Here you'll find the event stage as well as all the picnic benches. To continue your morning, if you have kids with you, I'd consider heading straight into CBeebies Land. With it being at the front of the park, it can attract huge crowds. Therefore, I would strongly recommend heading into CBeebies Land and doing some rides early in the morning as soon as it opens. CBeebies Land is home to some of your favourite characters such as Postman Pat, Octonauts, Duggee, the Furchesters, Eagle Piggle and Upsy-Daisy, and has a huge selection of flat rides and other rides such as my personal favourite, Get Set Go Treetop Adventure, which can be seen in the treetops around CBeebies Land. CBeebies also has many shows such as Teletubbies, Duggee and Bing, and these are on set times throughout the day, so make sure to check the Alton Towers app to see which best suits you. The land also has a major restaurant called the Lunchbox, as well as some interactive play areas with Jojo and Gran Gran and Duggee. If you are in a group that doesn't have any children, I would strongly recommend heading straight up to the Dark Forest to ride 13 and Rita. This is perfect if you're not a fan of intense roller coasters, because you can start on 13 and work your way up to Rita. It is best to complete the dark forest at the start of the day because this is when it is most quiet, as the dark forest is known to get very busy by lunchtime and stays like that till park close. But make sure to always check on the Alton Towers app to see the current queue times. 13 is an incredibly themed coaster with a great surprise for everyone on board. The train takes guests through the woods, getting some airtime as well as going backwards. And Rita is one of the more popular roller coasters in the park, always reaching massive queue times. This is the park's only launched roller coaster, taking guests from 0 to 60 miles per hour, and I strongly recommend you don't miss it. Upon exiting the dark forest, it bears repeating to always keep an eye on the wait times on the app, and if you see any other attractions that you're interested in nearby with short wait times, improvise where appropriate. However, I would recommend heading to X Sector within the first couple of hours to ride Oblivion while it's on a short wait time. Oblivion is arguably one of the scariest rides in the parks, by taking riders up to breathtaking views before plummeting you into darkness in a hole in the ground. Oblivion is definitely one of the most adrenaline pumping rides in the park, however it's a very short ride, therefore I would not recommend waiting more than 20 minutes for Oblivion. Just next to Oblivion is the world famous Smiler, which has 14 different inversions. Smiler will be on a big queue throughout the whole day, therefore I would not recommend doing it in the morning, as this is where most guests head to first. I would keep checking on the app and on the queue time boards around the park to see when the Smiler queue time drops. Or if you're looking to shave some time off your morning schedule, definitely consider splitting your group and jumping in the single rider queue. Your queue time may be cut down dramatically, but you will be split up from your group. X Sector is also home to 2 of the Retro Squad rides, Twistertron and Spin Jam. These are temporary rides for the 2023 season, and I would recommend going on them anytime throughout the day, as they averagely stay on small queue times. They are fun filler rides for when you want to have a break from the coasters. I would then recommend making your way over to the Gloomy Wood, taking a walk up the Haunted Hollow, which leads you directly to Alton Manor. The Curse at Alton Manor is brand new for 2023 and is a haunting dark ride taking you on a hair-raising journey through the spectacular twists and turns of the Cursed Manor. This is an incredible dark ride that takes guests through the Cursed Manor with Emily Alton. My biggest recommendation in this video is to make sure that you ride the Curse at Alton Manor. It's perfect for families and thrill seekers alike, with many different jump scares, breathtaking pre-show and scary elements, as well as some awesome effects. The Curse at Alton Manor is an all-round enjoyable dark ride. Gloomy Wood is also home to the Attic of Antiques, which is the gift shop for the Curse, as well as the Coach House Confectionery, which in my opinion is the best food and beverage kiosk in the park, serving Alton Manor themed ice creams and treats. Heading past the manor up to the Forbidden Valley, you will be greeted by Nemesis Subterra and the world-renowned Nemesis. At the time of making the video, Nemesis is being refurbished and not expected to return until 2024, and Nemesis Subterra is still a mystery. Going down further into the valley, you will see the Blade, a pirate ship ride, and the remaining Retro Squad ride, Funk and Fly. Both of these are great family attractions, but currently the main attraction in Forbidden Valley is Galactica, the space-themed flying coaster that takes guests through the incredible portal and relaxing rollercoaster experience. Galactica always has large wait times, therefore I would just recommend joining the queue when it is at its lowest. In Forbidden Valley is the park's main restaurant, the Roller Coaster Restaurant, in which your food is delivered to your table via a roller coaster. This incredibly unique, fun dining experience is definitely worth doing on your visit to Alton Towers. It is open throughout the day on walk-ins and is open on an evening for hotel guests. However, you will need to book in advance. Therefore, if you are staying at the hotels, I would definitely recommend choosing the Roller Coaster Restaurant for your evening meal. Turning round, heading back through the valley and Gloomy Wood, you would reach Congo Canyon, an African Congo area with the Runaway Mine Train and Congo River Rapids, as well as the park's buffet restaurant, the Pizza and Pasta Buffet. The Runaway Mine Train is a child-friendly roller coaster taking guests through the tunnels and running alongside the Congo River Rapids. And the Rapids is a small enjoyable rapids ride that takes guests round Congo Canyon. You will encounter some waves as well as the waterfalls. I would definitely recommend bringing a poncho with you if there are more people in the boat, as the more people, the more wet you get. In Congo Canyon, you are just around the corner from Mutiny Bay, so now is a good time to try and ride Wicker Man. This is the park's best roller coaster themed to the Wicker Man, and in the centre of this impressive coaster you will find a huge wooden effigy that bursts into flames whenever you head through it. Wicker Man is a whole package with great queue line, immersive pre-show which still takes guests' breath away, as well as a fully themed shop on exit. Wicker Man is definitely worth the wait, and I would recommend doing Wicker Man before heading to the rest of Mutiny Bay. Mutiny Bay is the pirate themed land within the park and is home to various family attractions. This is great if you have families and you are finished in Sea Beaver's Land. In Mutiny Bay they have Marauder's Mayhem, a spinning barrels ride, Heave Ho, which is a small pirate ship, and Sharkbait Reef by Sea Life. This is an indoor aquarium operated by the well-known Sea Life brand. Mutiny Bay also has various restaurants such as Eastern Express, which is halal, hot dogs, nachos, waffles, Costa, and the Welcome Inn pub. Still in Mutiny Bay, but just outside by the lake, you will find Battle Galleons, which is an interactive water shooting boat ride, where guests will battle it out with water guns. But just to let you know, you will get absolutely soaked. This is great in the summer months, and I highly recommend experiencing all that Mutiny Bay has to offer. As you're heading out of Mutiny Bay, it is a straight path up to the Towers and Gardens. This is the biggest area of the park and the original estate that the theme park is built around. The Towers and Gardens are Grade 2 listed and make Alton Towers the most unique theme park in the world. If you have some spare time, I highly recommend going down into the gardens and taking in some of the breathtaking views, as well as going up into the towers and onto the roof when it's open. You will not want to miss this opportunity with the Towers and the Gardens. They are also home to Hex the Legend of the Towers, which is one of the best and most immersive dark rides in the world, taking guests through the actual Towers ruins into a spinning madhouse. With multiple pre-shows and themed queue line, this is one of the best experiences that you should not miss. There is also the Alton Towers Dungeon, which is a 45-minute journey through Staffordshire's darkest history. It is an upcharge of £11 per person, but it does include a boat ride and 7 different scenes with actors that jump out, so it is quite scary. I would highly recommend doing the dungeons on busier days when you're not able to join large queue times for the other rides. It's also perfect in rainy days as it gets you out of the rain for 45 minutes. Booking in advance for the dungeon is cheaper than on the day, however you are able to book your tickets from the box office, the app and the dungeon itself. The Towers and Gardens also has the Cuckoo Cars Driving School, which is a small ride that allows children to get their driving licence. The Towers also has some of the best restaurants in the park, with Woodcutter's Bar and Grill and the large burger kitchen. Also within the Towers is a separate land, the World of David Walliams. This is a land themed to the famous writer David Walliams, with the flagship attraction being Gangster Granny the Ride, which is a family dark ride that allows you to go on a heist to steal the crown jewels. In this area you also have Raj's Bouncing Bottom Burp, the Royal Carousel and Flavio's Fabulous Fandango. This is a great themed land with a really vibrant atmosphere and definitely worth doing with the family. Now that we have toured the theme park, it's time to head our way over to the resort to look at the golf and water park. The Alton Towers Extraordinary Golf is an 18-hole golf course themed to the various rides and attractions across the resort. It is included in your hotel stay and is definitely worth doing on the same day as the water park. Opening hours can be found online on the Alton Towers website. This golf is a very fun thing to do while at the resort, as it is very chill and you and your family will be able to compete on the wacky and interactive holes. Some of the holes include Galactica, Nemesis, Oblivion and Rita, and you can just play for fun or make it a competition. The entrance into the Alton Towers Water Park is through the Splash Landings Hotel. The first thing you would see when you arrive is to walk straight into the changing rooms. There are lockers provided for 20p per locker, and you will receive a key on a wristband that you must keep with you at all times. If you arrive at the water park for opening, all the rides will be on a 0-minute wait. Once you've sorted all your stuff in the changing room, it's a common mistake to head straight into Laguna Bay. Once outside of the changing room, I would recommend heading straight to the Master Blaster or Russian Rampage. So once you're settled into the water park, make sure to prioritise the Master Blaster, which is the main slide around the water park. Also prioritise Russian Rampage and the Flash Floods, which is part of the outdoor water park. Some of the other water park attractions include Laguna Bay, Bubbly Wobbly Pool, Wacky Waterworks, Little Leak, Calypso Creek, which is the lazy river, and the outdoor water park. Please note that the outdoor water park won't always be open on colder days. The Alton Towers Water Park also does have food and drink options inside, as you are not allowed to take in your own food. So that's it, all my best pro tips for visiting the Alton Towers Resort, and I hope it helps you with your next escape or if you're booking an escape. I'm sure I have missed loads of great tips, so make sure to put some in the comments below to help each other out, and do check out my other videos if you're interested in more UK theme park content, and don't forget to click that subscribe button and the notification bell. That's a wrap.